Anyway, welcome back, guys. This is the Live Room Podcast. This is episode 6.
Episode 6 already.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's very crazy.
Episode 6.
Are you loud enough? Do you feel loud enough?
I feel good, yeah.
You loud enough?
Yeah.
You
I
loud
think we're happy. I think I'm good.
We're going to roll.
I'm
it.
in the zone.
Sure.
This is a different episode,
It is.
purely because we're using
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools.
And we have no guests.
And we have no guests. So this is the reunion episode. Anyway.
Three's Company.
Yeah, that works perfectly.
Yeah, it's perfect. Anyway, how are you guys? How
Very
are you
well,
guys?
mate.
What's
Things
going
are
on?
good.
What about yourself? You doing well?
Good.
Yeah, I'm all right. Sorry about that little pop there.
It's all right.
We're rolling with it. So like I've just said to the guys, I've switched to Pro Tools. The reason why
What were you using? Logic?
I was using Logic Pro. So
Right.
look, for those of you who don't know, when you record like audio into your computer, you do it into something called the Digital Audio Workstation,
The DAW.
the DAW. And I've been using Logic Pro, which is like a Mac only program. A lot of professional studios out there are using Pro Tools, or otherwise known as Pro Tools.
I've always thought it was the industry standard.
It is the
Yeah.
industry standard. So look, I'm part of a group on Facebook called Slate Audiophiles, right?
Yep.
That's the kind of plugins that I use, and it's the group for people who use those plugins. So I queried to the group. I was like, "Hey guys, am I doing myself a disadvantage if I don't know how to use this program?"
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody said, "Yeah, you need to use it." So we're rolling with it.
So,
Yeah.
like, how are you finding it so far? I know you mentioned that you used to use it when you were doing, like, when you were studying it. But
Yeah.
is it a big difference from Logic?
The biggest thing I can say is, you drive a car.
I do.
right? I drive a car.
Yep.
Both cars go vroom,
Yep.
right? And if we're lucky in the summertime, it'll have air conditioning. That's the difference between Logic and Pro Tools. Does that make sense?
Lots
Having
of
air
hidden little
conditioning.
things.
They both
kind
do
of.
the same thing. You can both get where you need to get, but they just look different. For whatever reason, Pro Tools is used as the industry standard, so we're rolling with that.
Have you yet found something that you weren't using in Logic?
No, look, there's always things to be discovered with this kind of stuff. Like even as recently, I was still discovering new commands and hotkeys and options to use within the program itself. So
Yeah.
just swapping over to try and future-proof my career in the audio industry.
Cool. You got to be doing
I think that's the right thing. Like, you got to challenge yourself also.
Yes. So
That's
this
how you
one,
learn
this
things.
one might sound different because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just rolling with it.
We might
Rolling with
all
the
have that
punches.
little bit of reverb behind us.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
right. That's all right. So now that being said, what's going on? The Skycam is not here.
But we do have
Hey, what's going on?
the Eric's buttocks.
Oh,
cam.
snap.
The floor cam.
It's live. It's loud.
Jackson, tell us why we're using the floor cam today.
We're using the floor cam today because did the attachment break or did we just not have the attachment?
Skycam broke.
The sky cam broke.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Skycam.
Oh man, we got a good 5 episodes out of that.
Yeah,
4
I know.
episodes?
5.
5.
Because
5.
we can reference.
We sure can.
So, Tyler, tell me about your day. What have you done today?
My day consisted of me sleeping in with the heater on, which was fantastic.
That sounds great.
Yeah, like it was really nice. Had a day off work today, and I learnt a couple of new bass lines for our sessions gig with Sean Orr, which was nice.
Very good.
One in particular involves me traveling all across the fretboard, and it's challenging me quite a bit, but I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Do you have insurance for that kind of travel?
I should, or at least a return ticket to go all the way back down the fretboard
Very good.
again.
Very
Yeah.
good.
And other than that, I've been playing the Black Ops 3 campaign,
Ah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and it's pretty crazy. And now I'm here.
Black Ops has
Very
zombies,
good.
right?
I don't know.
It does.
I don't know.
It does?
It does.
There
I
you go.
remember the original.
The original Zombies was crazy.
Good
wasn't it?
days.
I was more of a Halo guy. I still am.
Halo's badass,
Love
man.
Halo as well, dude.
Again, I
Absolutely.
only played the early ones, but
You're gonna
yeah,
get number
lots
5.
of fun times.
Yeah, I hear you.
Is it number 5 or number 6 that's coming out? Or now?
5 has came out like 4 years ago,
Oh,
3 years ago.
There's a new Halo game, isn't there? Announced at E3.
There was Halo Wars 2.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I don't have an Xbox One as Xbone as it's called in the industry.
Yeah.
It's the industry standard.
Yeah.
Industry standard.
For referencing Xbox.
Jackson, what's
Hey.
going on? What did you do today?
I went to Castlemaine.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Ooh. Well, I actually went with the intent of trying to hit up a a bit of a favorite hotspot of mine. It's a record store called Record Low.
Oh, nice.
But as soon as I got there and I had a bit of spare time to check it out, I was like, oh, snap. They've actually closed down and they're relocating.
Yeah.
So they're in the process of, they might have a second shop where they're still running
They do,
from,
yeah.
but I couldn't find it.
So, I follow these guys on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. They were at the location we all know and love. There's a nice exhaust in the background there. They moved to, I think it's Cherry's Guitar Lounge for a little while. And then they've got a new lease on a premises right near the Theatre Royale, actually. So, nice location. And yeah, I can't
Just
wait
on
for
the
it to
main
open.
drag there. Yeah.
I think a block in.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, so they were on the main drag and now they're a block in. So, it'd be good to visit them. Shout out to Record Low.
Yeah.
You guys are the bomb.
That reminds me, the last episode 5, for some reason, I felt like I wanted to talk about a record store, which I'm glad you said that, because that reminded me of a record store that used to be in good old Central Square, New York. It was called Disc Connection. It was right around the corner from Bobo Chinese, which is one of my favorite
Bobo
restaurants
Chinese.
of all time. What was really funny about it is that the guy in there smelled like a wet dog.
That is funny.
Every time he must have had like halitosis, like a really, really bad breath. It was unbearable.
Oh, like his breath smelled like a wet dog, or he did as a person, as a human.
Both.
Wow.
Both.
Maybe he just sleeps in a kennel or something. Like
He smelled like wet dog, and his breath smelled like an even wetter dog.
What a poor individual. That's,
But it was
But
fun though.
besides that,
But besides that, the records in there were really cool. Like I bought a lot
did
of
they
stuff.
smell as well?
No, actually they didn't. I
Lucky,
remember
lucky.
vividly one summer day back in Central Square, I bought Van Halen 5150 and Chic, the greatest hits of Chic. There
Nice.
on vinyl, which is really good.
yeah,
But sadly they closed down. So thanks for jogging my memory about that one.
there's a cool charm with record stores, and like it's almost like a library but for audio listeners.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
Like
much.
everyone, like it's dead silent. Obviously, in a record store, they're generally playing vinyl,
Yep.
but it's dead silent. Everyone's in their own headspace, and they're just going through the files.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going through all, finding things, putting it under their.
It's kind of like therapeutic going through the little, like the cases of them all. It's like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. Oh, I haven't heard of that before, but I'll check it out. You know, it's cool. It's awesome.
It's stimulating, like
It
for a
is.
musician, like
Yeah.
a lot like a bookstore, I'd say. But
It
yeah,
is. There's I've mentioned this before. By the way, I'd just like to apologize to our listeners if you're hearing a little bit of snack crackle pop, just because we're still getting used to Pro Tools. So sorry about that. Back in Rochester, New York, there's a place called the House of Guitars. Not only is it Rochester, New York's or Western New York's biggest guitar building or whatever, there's also lots of records down there.
Cool.
But the problem is, if any of you guys have been there, it is just looks like a bomb went off.
Oh,
Honestly,
really?
just disorganized.
there's like
Yep.
signatures from like every band since the 1970s, like in that building. They've signed the walls and all that stuff, signed T-shirts and frame stuff. But the collection of music there is just literally like as far as the eye can see. Honestly, it's just like everything in there is good price. It's cool. Like if you're like a disc junkie, that's a good place to go. But yeah, good, yeah, I like it. That's good.
Badass. They also sell instruments.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't have heard the name, whether it's I don't know.
It's world
seems
famous.
like world famous.
Yes, it is.
That's
All
yeah,
right.
we would have heard of it.
House of Guitars.
Do they just sell everything, or do they have like particular brands that they focus on more?
No,
or-
not really. It's interesting. Like, you know, if you go to like a pawn shop, like cash converters, like everything's behind glass.
Yeah.
All the guitars are behind glass, which is really interesting. But they're neither like really good value or like I don't know expensive guitars. But yeah, everything's just behind glass. They got guitars, bass, drums. If you've seen the photo of like the world's largest Marshall amplifier,
That's probably.
it's there.
Oh,
It's there.
right.
Yes, it's in a stairwell. I've
there
seen
you
it.
go.
So
Very
there you
cool.
go. There you go.
Speaking of cashies, I don't know whether you guys have been to the local cash converters recently. I think I've been there twice in my entire life, but I walk past quite often. There was a
Oh,
Gibson
it's
Les
something-
Paul traditional in the window, like similar to the one that you have, but probably a couple of years older.
Yeah, it's a 2012 model.
Oh, it is it?
Yep.
And what's yours, 2017?
2017.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yes.
But yeah, that was nice. I think it was probably a bit too overpriced for what they were asking.
It was
for.
like $3,700.
Yeah, I saw it. It was $29.95, so
Oh,
they
they
might
must
be
have
down. But
dropped it
that's
down.
still pretty expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
Just considering it's cash converters, though,
I'll
It
give you-
seems like it should be cheaper. Like
know.
it just seems like if it's in cash converters in the first place, something's not quite right about it.
I'd
It has
hate
that
to work
stigma.
there.
It has a stigma.
It does, and I'd hate to be like behind the counter, like receiving these offers. It's just like, oh, that Gibson Les Paul in the window there, mate. I'll give you my McDonald's meal that I just got for lunch, $400 and an Xbox.
Yeah, mate.
It's
got Halo.
Right deal. Yeah, it's got Halo installed on it.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah, it's got to be worth the $2,000 I'm losing on this sale.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like pawn shop guitars, we're slowly leading into our topic for today.
Oh yeah,
Slowly. You guys ever gone into a pawn shop and bought anything? Bought any guitars or anything?
I have. I'm gonna say recreationally.
Yeah.
Like back in my year 12, year 11 days, me and a couple friends, like we were working, like we had part-time jobs and we were kind of cashed up as far as musicians go. And we'd go to cash converters and we were living the rock and roll lifestyle. We bought like these $70 Stratocaster ripoffs.
was that the SX?
Yeah.
Yeah.
SX was the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ashton or a couple of those other sort of
The affordable
knockoff
brands.
brands. And at one point in time, I'm not going to say names or anything, but allegedly, me and my friend walked to the top of the Poppet Head in Bendigo and accidentally dropped a Stratocaster off the top of it just to see what chaotic damage would happen.
And-
that allegedly happened, and nobody allegedly got hurt.
And I was allegedly not there. No, I was there.
Like all of my
Allegedly.
stories.
So you guys legit reached your hand up over the fence and then just dropped.
Dropped it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened to it?
Allegedly, it didn't survive.
Oh, okay.
Well, because it's a bolt-on neck,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
It stayed on,
it held together pretty well.
Okay.
but like there was hardly any paint left.
It was pretty bad.
Allegedly.
It was pretty
Allegedly, yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is all allegation.
bad. In this day and age.
That's very nice.
It was good. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Good way to
I
fill
don't
in a
think I
free
bought a
period.
serious, like, that's why I say recreational. I don't think I've bought a serious guitar from one. I've caught, like, occasionally something will catch your eye there. And it's like, oh man, it's actually all right. But
Yeah. I can't say I've ever. Well, actually, I have. I take that back. I think I might have said this before. If we can reference, because I'm not really sure.
we might be able to reference by now.
We might be able to reference this one.
Allegedly.
I think I might have dropped this one. Back in like 2005, Volkswagen came out with the Volkswagen Rabbit.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Does this make sense?
Sure does.
Not to me.
And as
But
as a tie-in or promotional thing, First Act, the guitar brand First Act, famously known for being sold in Walmart,
Right.
tied in with Volkswagen VW to make their own VW guitar. And it was all you could only get this guitar by participating in a guitar competition at participating VW dealerships.
Goodness gracious.
I went to one of them. I didn't participate, but like they were having a guitar battle for this VW guitar by First Act, which would have been made out of like sawdust and glue. But it was a slick looking guitar, seriously. But anyway, like I remember seeing it in a pawn shop a couple of years later. I was like, holy shit, there it is. So I bought it.
Nice.
$18?
No, it was $19.95.
Wow.
So it was like a VW looking. It was an inspired. It looked like a Volkswagen guitar, honestly, because it was. You know what I mean? But the coolest thing was when you like switched pickups. It had Filtertron pickups.
Nice.
When you switched pickups, it had a little blue LED like overdrive light. It was actually pretty cool.
Nice.
But then I think I sold it back to the pawn shop before.
Was the color Jetta black?
What a collaboration, though. Volkswagen.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting because it had a guitar amplifier built into the car. There's a video like of Eric Clapton playing it on YouTube or something, like because they must have hooked him for the commercial or whatever. But it was interesting.
You got a free Volkswagen out of it.
Yeah, probably. He's
A
probably
free First Act guitar.
Yes.
There you go. What a
Wow,
story.
interesting.
Volkswagen. Taking massive undertakings like that with a lot of risk and very little
It's
reward.
just such a niche thing. Like.
It's very niche.
So look, we're slowly drifting into today's topic. So Tyler, what's today's topic? What are we discussing loosely?
I think we're discussing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Allegedly, we are discussing buying online as opposed to buying in store. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just like guitar, like buying instruments. I was gonna speak of it from a online versus in-store perspective.
Yep.
We can do whatever we want. We pay taxes.
Yeah, that's
what I mean?
right.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Let's start with a news story, though. Apparently, Ellen's Music, Ellen's and Billy Hyde, a very one of the original music retailers in Australia, at least, with high-end
Big time.
musical equipment.
Yeah.
Rock and classical.
Yep.
They've done everything for a long time. I believe they've, like, I can't source any article, but I believe they've called it quits. Like, they've actually finally decided, all right, we're stopping this. So,
Well, they
think
went down to one store, didn't they?
I think it was just the one in Elizabeth Street
Yeah.
in Melbourne, yeah.
Yeah.
The Adelaide store closed down a couple of years ago. Even the Bendigo store closed down, probably
Where
closer
was
to 10.
was it?
Right next to KFC.
Yeah,
First building towards the...
towards the cathedral.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's Paul Gray Builders or something that's
Yeah.
there now.
Yeah.
That used to be the big building.
Shout out to Paul Gray Builders.
Shout out. Build us a house.
Use Lad Studios to get 10% off your mortgage.
That's a lot of money.
That's a bunch of cash.
That is like $35,000 or more.
We hooked them up, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
60 viewers are now going to go, you know what, Paul Gray Builders.
Paul Gray loves the podcast.
Yeah.
Speaking of loves the podcast, I have to tell you guys a quick story about today.
So excited for this.
I've been hyping this up all day.
Give us a tidbit.
I went out for lunch.
tidbit.
A tidbit.
Went out for lunch today with an old friend of mine that I used to work with. It was good catching up with him. On the way home, I live close to town. I walked past the world famous Brewhouse Coffee Roasters.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Got myself a nice large latte. And we've discussed this.
Wait. Sorry. Was there any sugar in this latte?
No.
Okay.
No.
You cannot leave out these kind of details in a story like this.
I normally drink black coffee like I am right now, but I was in the mood for a latte. A bit of milk.
We need
in
more
my latte.
details. What did your friend's jumper say on it?
Oh, of course. My friend's jumper said "Rest in peace, music." And I asked him like, where did you get that fine piece of fashionable clothing from? And he's like, I bought it online after your band Navy Blue broke up. And I'm like, oh, how do you do that?
That's very close to home.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry.
Getting back to the story at hand, I went and got a coffee from Brewhouse, and they asked me what my name was. And
shit.
yeah, they asked me what my name was, and I just said Ted. He's like, oh, no worries, Ted. Oh, that's like, hang on, you're from the podcast, aren't you? Big Ted.
snap.
I got recognized getting a coffee.
There's no way.
Absolutely.
That's really funny.
That's cool, isn't it?
Local celebrity over here.
I didn't know how to take him. Like, yeah, you listen?
Did you know this guy?
No, never met him in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's cool, isn't it?
That's wonderful.
Shout out to Mystery Coffee Man.
I love how we can just bring people together.
That's amazing.
Isn't it
One
just great?
podcast at a time.
One podcast at a time. It's just
So-
great.
Yeah.
That's
really
an honor,
funny.
though. I guess, like, I don't know. Have you had an experience like that yet? Being caught on the street from this podcast?
No, just in general. Look, I tend to be pretty famous here.
Local legend
Yeah, pretty
in
much.
your own right. The American guy.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
that. No, people are like, oh, you're that Canadian guy, huh? Toronto, eh?
Yeah, it's a good place, but I'm from New York.
It's really funny though, because you actually got recognized not too long ago at Sean Orr's show, which we played at the Golden Vine like a month ago.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you remember that?
I think Sean Orr recognized me, yeah. It's like,
We
oh,
recognized you.
hello there, Jackson. My name is Sean. I recognize you from the podcast. Apparently, he speaks very poetically. He kind of does.
He does a little bit. He's very well spoken, gentleman.
Bogan, but poetic at the same time.
Yeah, mate.
G'day, man. That's
Yeah.
nothing like him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count that meeting because, like, those people who recognize me are pretty affiliated with Lad Studios.
Okay.
So I'm like, I can't really wash off that celebrity status or anything on that yet.
Right.
I've been, like, recognized from, like, you know, being music or comedy stuff in the past, but
Yeah.
not quite this yet. Not quite.
So you're the dude with the left-handed cigarettes.
I don't know about that. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
That's a really good story.
Yeah, it was
That's a
pretty
really
cool.
good
I
story.
just didn't know how to take it.
That's interesting.
was
That's what
nice.
she said. Yeah. So look, Allen's and Billy Hyde.
Yes.
They're pretty much like a big online retailer now. They've stopped from
They're
brick and
probably
mortar.
like, is it called Guitar Center in America?
Yes. Yep.
Or Guitar World? Guitar,
Guitar
Center,
Center,
yeah.
yeah.
Basically that.
Okay.
Or
But
like
they branch
Sweetwater.
out with
Right.
like classical instruments, also like pianos and all that.
Yeah.
Right.
They have a dedicated room upstairs in the Melbourne store.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I believe they've been calling it quits, and I think a large part of this is just due to everyone's buying online these days.
That's right.
So the local walk into the guitar shop and all the glory of that slowly fading away.
It's interesting. It's very sad. Have you guys ever walked into a store and bought a guitar?
Many
Yeah.
times. Many
Yep.
times.
I think every time.
Every
I
time.
don't think I've actually bought a guitar online.
Really?
I've
Interesting.
met up with people and exchanged guitars, but bought a new guitar, haven't done it.
Really?
I'm
Wow.
a rare
That's
unit.
interesting. Tell me about one of your experiences buying guitars, like online. Like
Online?
how do you decide? Like, okay, that's the one. Like, obviously it looks cool, but like you haven't played it. How do you feel about that?
I might have mentioned this on the podcast previously because we can do that.
Yeah, we
you
can.
know.
We
Can
can reference.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
let's do it.
I at one point in time it was a Jackson Dinky.
Okay.
And I was like setting up the Floyd Rose, and I was just like, look, I just want to put this guitar online. I'm not really a Floyd Rose guy anymore. Just want to see what, like, I think I put like maybe $500-600 trade value on it, but I was really just asking for trades. Like, look,
Yep.
if anybody's interested in trading, let me know what you have. And some guy presented me an Gibson SG Special.
Yep.
And I jumped on it right away. It's a hardtail. It's just 2 humbuckers. It's a rock machine. It's just a nice guitar. Really what I wanted in the band I was with at the time. Just a couple DMs later, sliding in the DM box. We met about halfway. He was in Melbourne. I'm in Bendigo.
Yep.
I think we met up at a Taylor's Lake McDonald's in the car park. And you just say, like, hey, man, like, I'm just around the corner. All right, you'll see me. Oh, yeah, I'm in this VK Holden or whatever.
I'm the guy in the red hill figure jacket.
That's it. How? I mean, it's pretty obvious when I don't know. Musicians have an aura about them.
Yeah.
A particular look. Non-upper
Homeless.
class.
Homeless, they generally look.
Homeless and poor.
Or when you get out of the guitar with a case, it's pretty obvious.
Is that you?
And yeah, then you just like, you have a bit of a chat about guitars for 5 or 10 minutes and you go your merry way. But I've had a couple of these exchanges over the years.
You know,
for
the
sure.
funny thing is, I used to live with Jackson when he made this deal. And a week later, I made another deal with the same guy.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I met him at the same McDonald's and exchanged a different guitar.
That's
What
really
was
cool.
it? What was the guitar?
I had a SoCal 1-2H Charvel in Purple Plum, which was a nice little shred machine.
80s as.
Yeah, very much so. And I traded that for a Gibson Les Paul Studio and Wine Red from the early 2000s.
So he gave you guys the name.
He gave us a
guitars.
Gibson
He did.
each.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
For
pretty.
2 guitars that are basically the same.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
great.
Floyd Rose, same. I think they were the same pickups in the Jackson and the Charvel.
I think I had Duncan's. You had DiMarzio.
Yeah, I had DiMarzio.
But apples and oranges, right?
yeah, yeah.
So buying things on trading posts is like you can buy things from a brick and mortar store, right? You can buy things online from like guitarcenter.com or whatever, or iheartguitars.com.au, whatever you guys do down here. Or you can go by the trading post, like Craigslist or Gumtree, or like even Facebook. I've sold a lot of stuff and bought some stuff. Actually, I think I've sold more stuff from Craigslist than having bought things. I used to have an Ampeg SVT bass head.
Good heads.
It was like
Yeah.
like a big old thing. It must have been like 100 pounds or like 2 kilos, whatever you guys do down here. But it was like a big old thing, and I didn't need it anymore. I sold that. I sold like an 8x10 bass cab. I've sold like all the good equipment that I've had. I've sold on Craigslist. But it's always an interesting thing, like meeting up. It's like, hey, you the dude for this? And it's like, yeah. And then you literally do gear talk, like you said. You just sit there. Like I remember the guy that I sold my Ampeg head to. We were just talking bass for a while, and I'm just like, all right, dude, I just want your money. Get out. Like, I pretend to be like entertained. It's like, oh, hi, yeah, you like my orange 1x10 cab? Yeah, it's really funny. Light studio use. Yeah. Well, I've been looking for something, in a wedding band,
It's only a matter of time until they plug their own project and you're like,
know.
God, I'm in for the long run.
Oh, yeah, check us out on MySpace.
Here's my business card. You can download my new single and the hot link at the bottom.
Bandcamp.com/I-buy-things-off-Craigslist.
It's a good band name, that. Very good band name.
Hey, yeah, it's actually pretty all right. So, Big Ted, you've recently acquired a Fender Stratocaster.
I have.
Tell us about that kind of experience.
So it's very different to all the ones we've talked about. So I actually went into one of our local music stores in Bendigo called Muso Stuff. Shout out to the boys at Muso Stuff.
Massive shout out to the music.
You guys rock.
Yeah.
And there was a lovely little American professional series Stratocaster in Sonic Blue. It's been on the shelf there, or on the racks, I suppose you call them, for probably a little while, 3 or 4 months or so. It's always kind of taken my eye because it's a special little color. And I really wanted it. I gave it a play, and just everything about it resonated
It's
with
the new flagship Fender, really.
pretty much.
And it was on the shelf. Nobody could afford it. It was just,
So-
going to be taken home.
Greg, I've talked to Greg, who's I think he owns Muso Stuff, or a part owner of Muso Stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've talked to him many times about renting instruments. So I approached him about, look, man, I really like this Fender Stratocaster. Obviously, I don't have $3,000 to drop on it.
Well, why not?
Well, yeah, I have other guitars that I've bought instead, unfortunately. Life of a musician, isn't it?
Yes.
And I approached him about the renting and stuff like that, and he's like, "Look, man, I can do it for this price, and you'll pay this amount per month." And I'm like, "You only live once. Why not? Done. Let's do it." And the whole experience is, I was on the phone with I think it's Studio 19. You do the rentals through.
Yeah, it is.
Shout out to Studio 19. Lots of shout outs today. It's good.
No shout outs to them.
No,
No.
I like them. No.
Yeah, they're good, but it's like there's hidden terms and conditions with this thing. So what Tyler's alluding to is this rental program, which I'm also a part of, because my Fender amp, all the way back there, is from Studio 19, as well as the interface that we're recording on at the moment. So, like, I've had terrible credit. This isn't something you really should say, but look, I have bad credit, okay? And it's all because my student loans have really just turned upside down my whole life.
Yeah.
Because, when you go to school for 3 months, apparently, that throws you into debt.
Yeah.
Back in the United States. Anyway, so I've always never really been able to just, get like a loan or something like that. So I went to the music store 2 years ago and I saw this Fender amp, similar to how you saw the Fender Stratocaster.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, mate, just fill out the application. You just fill it out. And, you just give me your details, and you see how you go." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, we'll do that." So I ended up getting that, and that was great. But you pay such and such amount for 24 months, and then you can apply to buy it.
Yeah. There is a catch, but like,
Yeah,
if you really want it, you'll buy it.
Yeah. That's exactly it. But the thing is, though, like, let's just say, well, I'll just tell you, this amp was $2,000, right? And I pay like X amount per month, and then after 24 months, I can apply to buy it for like $1,400.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're a business. That's how they make money.
Of
So
course.
like, but it is easier to maintain because you do have monthly payments. So
That's right.
That's just the risk you take.
And you get to have as high a quality instrument as you want, or gear
Yes.
now, as opposed to saving up for it for 6-12 months and then buying it. It's just another way to do it. Like, it's definitely not the best way, but if you want something, or even if you need something like your interface,
Yep.
It's a good way to go.
Yep.
Another way to look at it is like, you're paying to like experience that instrument for a while.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
might buy a Gibson, you might hire out a Gibson Les Paul or a Fender, and then maybe after that 12-month period, though, you're like, you know what, this isn't really for me.
Yeah.
And it would be an okay opportunity to, say you paid $800 to $1,000 of that Gibson Les Paul standard. You don't have to pay for a $4,000 instrument up front. So you get to experience it for a good year, which a year flies by, but hey, you might have been able to record in that time.
Yeah.
That's just a more optimistic spin on it.
Good way to describe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like I've sold so much music stuff over the years that I really detest selling anything, because I can't stand it, because I like we were saying earlier, we're trying to buy back all the stuff that we used to have.
Yes.
And now that I'm not necessarily in a position to do it, but I've put myself in a position to do it because I think I have a little bit of leniency, and let's be honest, I work my ass off. All right.
You definitely do.
So I deserve a little bit of treats every now and again. So it's just one of those things. It's very easy to try it. Especially like with the interface we're recording on. I need that for the business.
That's right.
The business pays for that. I don't pay for it out of my pocket. The business pays for it. So it is a catch-22, so to speak,
Yeah.
as the kids say on Instagram.
Hashtag catch22.
If they had Instagram in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, like buying. My favorite thing though is buying instruments in person.
Oh, absolutely. Doesn't get better.
It's an experience.
I love it.
It's
There's
whimsical.
nothing better than it. I love falling in love with instruments.
Can you remember the first guitar you bought in a store? Please share the story.
It was my first guitar of all time. It was my very first guitar.
Yeah.
It's a Epiphone Les Paul Special 2, which is currently away getting fixed.
All right. Yeah.
Because we can reference. I've seen the updated photos of it.
How's it coming along?
It's currently got a nice sunburst spray on it. I think he's just going to finish it off over the next couple of weeks with a nice like nitrocellulose finish. as
Can't
you
wait
do.
to see it.
But I bought that at Guitar Center for like $149 or $249. It came with a like a 10 watt or 15 watt crate amplifier, like a learn to play guitar or like learn to shred DVD, and like a really shitty
DVD.
strap, like a string winder, a tuner, like a pack of strings, and like 800 picks.
Master the pentatonic scale.
That's exactly what it was. But it was cool though, because like I just went to Guitar Center and I just bought it. That was great. That was back in 2000.
Did you know what you were after? Or did you just like the shape? What was it like? What
I
attracted you
like
to
the shape.
What attracted me to it, and it to me, is like I'm a big fan of Yes. Steve Howe's main guitar, which is a Gibson ES 175D, is a sunburst guitar.
Yeah.
So I leaned towards that because it was sunburst.
Jumped on that right away?
Yeah, so we grabbed that. And yeah, that was the first time I ever fell in love with an instrument in person. Even though it was like a budget instrument, I still am very sentimental of it. Because I mean, it's my first guitar.
What's your first guitar?
Mine was the opening day of the former music retailer in Bendigo called Music Man. It was their opening day.
Yep.
I was like a
Was that
cashed
when it
up
was
15-year-old. It was Music Man, day one.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah, at the Hargrave Street store.
Oh, yeah.
So I go in there. I kind of knew what I was after. Like I knew the name of a couple big brands just by idolizing a couple of like metalcore bands and things like that.
Ashton, First Act, Monterey.
Monterey, of course. But no, for about $300, which is a pretty decent starter kit, I dare say.
for sure.
I had the choice out of an Ibanez or an ESP starter pack. LTD, I should say.
So
it came
ESP
with
starter pack. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
it came with the guitar and a little, like Eric said, a 510 watt amp.
Yeah.
So I got the Ibanez.
Yeah.
Had awesome shark tooth inlays, HSH configuration for all the guitar junkies out there. And yeah, in black.
Very
So
nice.
why not?
There you go.
So yeah, lash out on that from day one. That's about it.
Mine was a.
Where were you at?
Mine was a classical guitar
Aha!
because I started my musical journey and guitar playing journey by playing classical guitar. I did lessons every week for about 4 years or so, and my guitar teacher at the time, shout out to Shane Curtis, you're the man. He
Learn to shred with Shane. Master the pentatonic scale.
But he recommended, like, I mean, if you're a guitar teacher, like I think with pretty much all taught guitar at some stage, whether it's just a hear or buy lesson or whatever, I needed a classical guitar because I was borrowing his, and he just recommended like a starter kit. It was a Monterey starter kit. Monterey is just bottom of the barrel brand, but they definitely do the job if you're a starter. And I got a 6-string nylon string, and it had a single cutaway, so I could do the higher up stuff if I was playing classical. And came with a tuner, came with some picks, came with a soft gig bag and stuff like that.
Ooh, the gig bag. Don't forget the gig bag.
Gotta get the gig bag.
Always come. It's
That's
like
the reason I went Ibanez over ESP.
it's like shitty windbreaker gig bag. It's like if ever you're in a tornado, this thing's deflected.
It's
wind.
like a pencil case. Like
It's
pretty
really
much.
bad. It's
nothing.
really
Pretty
bad.
much. But better than not having one, I suppose.
Everybody needs a pencil case.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then after that, I got a vintage Les Paul copy.
cool.
A Greco or Tokai?
No. The brand was vintage.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I've still got both the Monterey and the vintage at my parents' place. My dad's like,
They were
"Oh,
actually
you're going to get
decent.
famous one day, and I want to keep these guitars." I'm like, all right.
Play vintage on a rock and roll surge.
Yeah.
They were heavy guitars. Like I'm not sure what, but it was probably like a pretty decent version there. Like
And it wasn't chambered, like it was proper Les Paul, like a traditional spec and everything like
Oh,
that. But it's
Set neck?
yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go.
bolt on.
So yeah. We've come a long way, haven't we? I think I've owned 30, maybe 35 different guitars in my life.
I wish I could count, honestly. Like, I've bought so many guitars. Well, my parents have bought a lot of stuff for me. Like, it really invested in my music career, which is why I'm still trying to make something of myself
course.
to make them feel like their investment was worthwhile.
back
To give
to
back.
the family.
Yes. But like I've seen a lot of guitars and fallen in love with a lot of guitars.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, one example is back in 2007, I think it was Guitar Center in Scranton, Pennsylvania opened up. So my father and I trekked over to Scranton. to the opening day for Guitar Center, and I went to the acoustic room, and I found this lovely Ovation balladeer,
Hey, Ovations.
which is Ovations. I feel like they're not really popular over here for whatever
They're
reason.
known, or at least like I don't know. When I was younger, everybody
Definitely.
would say Ovation with like a lot of praise.
Yes.
Like it's a niche, but it's
Did it have the
Respected.
curved back and everything on
Yeah,
it?
it had the curved plastic bowl, which was fine. But it was funny because like I asked the guys like, is there lay-by for this? Obviously not like running this by my father. Like, hey, I'm going to spend your money for you if that's okay. But anyway, I asked this guy if there was lay-by or layaway as we call it
Yep.
at home, and the guy was like, yeah, but he was an Ovation rep. He didn't work for Guitar Center. So long story short, Guitar Center wasn't going to honor this layaway, but because the Ovation rep said yes, he put it on layaway for me. So I slid right
Nice.
into his DMs, and I was like, eh.
Very nice.
So that was an interesting one. But I sold that on my way here to buy Mr. Rickenbacker.
Rick and
snap.
Backer.
Can we get a look at that?
Yes, let's bring this a little closer here, if you don't mind.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's nice and close.
This guy was really interesting. I was thinking about this just the other day.
So beautiful, man.
This is a vintage instrument. If I can buy vintage instruments, I will, because used instruments have character to them. Ooh, this has a crack in the 14th, 15th fret.
You're gonna have to put a crack in all the other ones now, so it fits.
Actually, they have started to crack. I dare say it's because of temperature or whatever. Oh well, I can get them fixed. This is a 1975 Rickenbacker 4001. The story for this one is almost worth as much as what I paid for it, which was $2,500 US. The classic story of me walking into music stores and seeing instruments is, I know I can't afford this, but I'm gonna get it.
Yep.
Like if there's a will, there's a way.
At
Like,
all costs.
That is my motto with life. But anyway, like my wife and I, we were feeling a bit down, right? We were feeling a little bit down. So we went to the Syracuse, New York version of the Discovery Center, right? But
Yep.
it's like big ass, like proper ass, American ass, like science
Yeah.
Everything's bigger in America, right?
for sure. So then we're walking down the street, and then right to our left-hand side, we see this music store called Ish Guitars. Strange name, amazing results. So I see this thing hanging on the wall, like way high up there, and I was like, oh. Didn't expect to see that. Because like, it was funny because my wife was like, oh, why don't we go in there? I was like, oh, I don't really feel like going to the music store. And I just turned my head slowly, and I see this thing looking at me, and I was like, oh my God. So I got chills, right?
That's what you get for uttering those words. I don't want to go into
I don't want to go to the music store. So all of a sudden I see this thing and I pick it up and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Because I used to own a Rickenbacker, a 2008 version of a Rickenbacker. But this is the original old school one. And I'm a big fan of progressive rock, Rush, yes, blah, blah, blah.
It's the guitar of progressive rock.
This is the base for this. So I basically sold a lot of my stuff, as well as sold like $800 worth of a video game collection, like retro game collection,
Oh, snap.
to go towards this.
Yep.
I sold like 3 guitars and like a year's worth of collecting to buy this thing. See,
Worth
if
it,
there's a
mate.
will, there's a way.
Worth it.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful bass. You would attest to that because you've played this before.
Played it quite a few times. One
Two
question
inputs. Two
Yes.
inputs.
This is interesting for those of you who don't know. This has Rico sound. What you can do with Rico sound as opposed to a normal mono input, which goes to a guitar amp or a bass amp, and that's the sound. Rico sound splits the signal between the bridge pickup and the neck pickup. So like my old bass teacher, Chris Squire from G.A.S, used to do, what he used to do is run the bridge pickup to a Marshall amp and have it be a distorted sound, and run the neck pickup clean to a bass amp.
Oh, right.
So if you could mic it and then blend to taste
Yeah.
what you like.
That's why it was so growly.
It's a very growly bass.
That's a pretty beneficial thing in progressive rock sort of music
Yes.
to do. Like
Yeah.
having that,
Yeah, absolutely.
old school way to get a monstrous tone, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a very beefy bass.
The question I had is
Yes.
is that the same one that Lemmy used,
Um,
or very similar to?
very similar. He used a 4001 style, which is this, but he would have had Rickenbacker custom make.
Yeah, of course.
His
but that
own.
like it would have been based on that.
Yes, yeah, he would have used this.
Because I know a lot of Australians and stuff would know that bass from Motorhead over
Yes,
Yes
over
and
everybody
Rush
else.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So
For sure, yeah.
Lemmy was the king.
Yeah, this is the Motorhead bass as well as the Deep Purple bass.
Yep.
As well as the
Yeah.
Rush and Yes bass.
Rich history there.
Yes, very much.
It's
and
an absolute beast.
and you
man.
got to be rich to buy one of these too,
Rich and Backer.
which
Yeah.
I'm too good. Too good.
So wish.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Looks good, man.
Yes. So let's talk about buying things online, right? Big Ted.
Yes.
Do you have a lot of experience buying things online? Like,
As in, like, someone on like a
no. As in, like, I'll go to like Sweetwater.com.
Yep.
I really want this. I'm going to buy this.
yeah.
Why do we buy things online like sight unseen? Like,
Generally speaking,
Yes.
it's cheaper.
yes, I agree.
Simple as that. I've seen things online that were, and like in a shop, it could be several $100s more expensive. You try to support local, but if it's a $600 saving online, you're more likely to go online.
See, in my experience, off the top of my head, I have bought probably 3 things online.
Really?
I've bought a Fat Rat distortion pedal, which is like one of the quintessential distortion pedals, or at least modeled off, from Sweetwater.com. I paid premium price because it was over in
You would.
US. Probably about a year ago, I bought a Ibanez S Series iron label. I bought that from what's the place called? Guitar something in Perth, from my mate Ollie, who works out there. He's a legend. And I bought. What else did I buy? Oh, I bought my Helix, the little Helix unit I've got down there.
Yes.
Which is the main source of my sound. Like I'm a digital guy as opposed to a tube or analog normal amplifier guy. And I bought all that online, and I've had no issues. It's been my main thing why I buy online is because some of the stores you go to don't have them in stock,
Yep.
or they don't supply
That's it,
them.
yeah.
They're not an authorized dealer. They're
Yep.
not. So the Ibanez now Muso Stuff I think is an authorized Ibanez dealer. So
Yes, they are.
I would be able to buy a guitar like the old Ibanez again from them, but at the time they weren't. So you have to, if you want something that bad, or if you know what you want, you have to search the ends of the earth to find it. Really, don't you?
That's it, yeah. Some things are exclusively online or very limited resellers, I guess.
Absolutely.
It's more
I
flexible.
had to buy that Helix online because I think there was one store in Australia that had one left, and that's the one I
Wow.
bought.
The interesting thing is, my American friends won't know about this because this maybe it does exist over there, but not like as what it's called over here. Afterpay.
Yep.
Afterpay is really handy. Like if you want to buy like a pair of sneakers or something, what they do is they split the payment over 4 equal payments over 2 weeks each. So for example, like this week I'll pay X amount for my sneakers and I'll just pay it off over 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Here we go. I recently bought a Fender Mustang. I'm a big fan of the Fender Mustangs because of my musical background. I like the Pillows. They're a Japanese rock band. The guy used a Fender Mustang. There you go.
I'm not aware of this.
I had one a couple years ago, and like an
Right.
idiot, I've sold it. Now, because we can reference to this episode,
It's the first time we've done that.
this is live referencing here.
Referencing episode 6.
We're revolutionizing the podcast game right now.
Next level.
You know how we mentioned we're buying back our old stuff?
Yes.
I used to have a Fender Mustang, and I sold it like an idiot. But it's a beautiful, like, butterscotch. It's called Olympic White, but it's like a yellowy.
Single coils, yeah?
No. Yes, it will have single coils in it. So I bought it from a place called topshelfinstruments.com.au, based in Tasmania, Hobart.
Absolutely.
Or as you guys say,
Hobart.
Hobart, mate.
I was going to say Van Diemen's Land.
So I bought that on Afterpay because it's affordable. You know what I mean? I can pay, a couple hundred as opposed to a dozen hundred.
I had no idea that gentleman that runs that company supplied Afterpay.
He does.
That's revolutionary. I'm going to buy a guitar when I get home.
It's dangerous.
It is, man. I've been eyeing off one that's on there for a while,
What
actually.
do you got?
Afterpay's scary, man.
That's very scary.
I forgot what it's called. It's that Yamaha, it's all black.
Yes. Yes.
SA Super something. Yeah.
I know the one. This particular Fender Mustang, somebody customized it to have a humbucker instead of a single coil. So what I've done is I've preempted the arrival of this Mustang. I bought a tortoiseshell pickguard for the Mustang, and I bought a lace sensor pickup to go. So
lovely.
When it comes in, I'm going to resolder the pickup so that way it looks original. But like, it's very rare that I'll buy things online. Really, I mean, well, actually, my Les Paul I bought online, but I knew it. It's like when I buy cars, because I've only ever bought one car, and my parents allegedly are the same way. They look at it and they know it's right. Like with the car that I'm driving now, I didn't even test drive it. I didn't even sit in it. I was just like, I'll take that.
Cool. Where's the paperwork?
It brings me back to a point I was going to say earlier. One of the most famous YouTube musicians, Rob Chapman. Chappers, mate.
Greetings.
Yeah. Absolute legend. A question he often gets asked is, how do you know what guitar to buy when you're in a store or something like that? And his advice is buy the one that gets you most excited.
What would you get? Oh, well, that Yamaha thing?
It is a nice guitar. But
is that the SG shaped?
No. It's a big...
I'm not too
like
familiar.
Gibson dot shaped thing.
Right
but
on.
It's pretty much entirely black. It's got an ebony fretboard. It looks gorgeous. But I don't need it. It's nice. I don't need it.
Exactly, yeah.
That's not going to stop you, though. It doesn't stop me.
Well, that's true.
I know. I'm pretty bad with it.
Yeah, but that's part of being a musician and someone that...
The Mustang's particularly cool, though. I'll give you
very
that,
cool.
Eric.
Yeah.
What year
I don't
is
know.
it?
Yeah.
It's a crafted in Japan one.
Fujigen?
Yes.
Yep.
Fujigen.
Nice.
Fujigen refers to the factory that it was made in Japan.
Very sought after. American parts, Japanese put together.
Yes.
Arguably as good as the American, if not better.
I agree.
Probably better build quality, I reckon.
I love Japan.
Yeah,
Look at a Japanese high-end car versus an American high-end car.
exactly right.
It's
I had to put it on you like that, but you know,
no, I
you
agree.
can have it like a V8 Mustang. It's going to go 0 to 1,000 like that. But if you're driving a nice Lexus and you want to check your rear vision mirror and it's just in the perfect placement.
Or a Nissan GTR and just have the best of both worlds.
Are you doing a voiceover right now? Because it sounds like you're doing a voiceover right now.
I'm calling you out, Lexus.
No,
Do they still exist?
Japanese made stuff is really good, honestly. Like I'll take Japan made stuff, not over American, but
over anything else.
Over anything else.
Yeah.
Especially Australian made. Sorry guys, you suck.
We do.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We've got some amazing luthiers in this country, but there's no real big brands besides Maiden. Ormsby, Cole Clark. That's about it.
But like I've never heard of any of them outside of Australia. Maiden seems to be the biggest one.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a couple of high-end guys there. I think Josh Homme uses Mason.
he does.
Right?
Yep.
Yes.
He's got a signature, I think. And Tommy Emmanuel, of course,
Yeah.
the legend.
Ormsby is getting known in international circles because they're, doing some pretty crazy things with like the 7-string side of things. Headless guitars. They look crazy. Multi-scale.
Very modern guitars. Yeah.
It's interesting though, because the way that the world is shifting, you become more well aware of brands that you may not know of or may not have heard of. Because I can reference, Jackson, please open this box that's sitting in front of us here.
This one right here.
Mystery box.
This particular box just came in the mail from the United States. What does it say on it?
1981.
1981.
Inventions.
I alluded to this in, I don't know, I think it was the last podcast, actually.
With Steven, yeah.
Mr. Steven Hammer. Really great guy. I'm so excited to work with you. We haven't talked about this yet.
Oh, you're working with him?
Yes. Low point.
It's official.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
That was an awesome shot video also at the end. He did really well there.
Yeah. Really good.
He's a
Can
gun,
I open
man.
this?
Yeah.
Am
Open
I...
it. Please open
You
it.
have to guess first what type of pedal it is.
I don't know. It's one of those big ones, so it probably takes like a 9-volt
So
battery.
if you guess it right, you get to keep
9
it.
volt.
What color do you think it is?
I'm going to go like purple. Purple?
Open it up, mate.
I have no idea.
Have a
what
squeeze.
this is.
So this I found out about through Instagram. And like, when you're scrolling through like the search feed or whatever, like mostly it's like NBA and music for me. So like what comes up is a bunch of music stuff.
Yep.
So I see this particular pedal. So this was designed by the guitarist from Reliant K. This is hand built in the United States. And this was from an initial run of only 81 of them.
This is the nicest case I've ever seen with
gorgeous.
a pedal,
I
by the
know,
way.
right? It's really well put
It's
together.
better than my Ibanez pencil case. Like,
it's like a wax.
all right.
It's a gorgeous pedal, man.
So let's show the floor cam here.
It looks like a bit of a dirty pedal. Let's get nice and close on this. To the left side, we have a drive function. My audio's probably not too good.
No, we've got a drive function, we've got a cut function, I believe, and then we've got an overall volume. So it's a really nice looking pedal. It's really slick.
Very tidy, yeah.
It's designed to look similar to the DeLorean.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hence,
Especially-
1981.
Especially, yeah, exactly. Especially with the blue LED you said.
Yes, it does have a blue LED. So like, I'm not one for pedals, but I'm starting to figure out now that I'm not getting enough out of the guitar that I want to. I need some more ass end to it. So this is similar to a Rat pedal.
Like the one I've got.
If you're familiar with that.
Yeah, classic.
It's
classic
got
pedal.
yeah, it's modeled after that, so it's got a really cool sound. So like, I want to get more into figuring out what more I can do with my guitar other than my hands. You know what I mean? What kind of sounds can I get more than just what I'm?
I think, yeah, you're
More
definitely
is
at
the
that
key
stage.
word.
Yes,
You can take it to 11.
yes, I
Exactly.
can. So that's a really cool.
This
pedal.
is cool.
So what we'll do is we'll put this on display for the rest of the episode. It came with some
Oh.
cool little candy, like a sticker and like a pin. So it's really cool. So I appreciate my parents for sending that over because international shipping was just going to be a little too expensive for me on that particular day.
Because it's American, does it have like the Australian voltage or the American one?
It's
or,
all 9 volt, so it doesn't
or is
really
it
matter.
or is it 1.21 gigawatts or
1.21 gigawatts, and you have to go 88 miles an hour. To
on
actually-
the neck?
Yeah. And it's really nice taste for the case as well because you have the 3 strips actually on the case. So it's like this is only something that you're going to get in the initial run. So like I anticipate these being pretty rare at some stage if they become more popular. So this is number 57 of 81.
There you go.
So it's pretty cool.
Looks cool. Have you tried it out yet?
No, I haven't. Ooh. I'm dying to do it.
We'll have to have a bit of a play after the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do a gear review?
Yeah, possibly. We possibly can do that. Jackson, have you ever bought
Hey.
anything crazy online? Like
Oh.
any? I mean, other not that.
Have you met this man before?
Have you met the? But like music stuff. Like what? Or is there anything
The
you're eyeing up?
coolest thing I bought online was it was when it just came out. It was called the Walrus Power Supply.
Yeah.
I believe it was called the Phoenix.
Yeah.
It was essentially the only power supply I could really think of that would help me out with all my pedal needs. I
Yes.
had a pretty crazy pedal board there with a couple of these more like 9 volt or the heavier duty pedals.
Yeah.
And most power supplies could only do like power one of them and a couple other pedals that were less than 100 mA. I can't remember the exact terminology here.
Yeah.
But the Walrus gave isolated power to like up to 12 different pedals.
It's crazy.
Some 400, I think it was like 4, you could run like 400 MA pedals.
Yeah.
Which is just like like Strymons or big things like that. I
Yes.
had a couple up there sort of pedals.
Yep.
And that was like the first week it came out, and that got shipped out pretty quick, and that was cool. It came at just the right time for me because I was looking at power supplies that weren't too big, weren't too bulky. It was just right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's probably the only crazy thing I bought online regarding gear, of course.
I'll just take a second here. Excuse me, engineer in there. Is everything still running as it should? Everything looking red? Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Big Ted, what kind of wacky purchases have you got online? I mean, like my wacky purchase is this because this is just something really obscure and random that I found on Instagram.
Wacky purchases.
Anything out of the ordinary that you wouldn't normally buy in a store or you couldn't find in a store.
Well, as I alluded to before, I couldn't find the Helix at any of my local things. I think I bought it from a place in Queensland because it was the only place that had one left. The rest were all sold out.
Yeah.
I used an American store to buy that Fat Rat, that Rat pedal. No other weird wacky ones. I'm pretty straight laced with my gear.
Cool.
Cool. But that could change.
Yes.
Because I've got a couple. Oh, actually, the next thing I want to buy, it's tax time. Disposable income is a thing at this time of year.
Yep.
I'm looking at expanding my musical horizons, either buying a drum kit or I am looking to buy a drum machine / sampler / everything.
Synth, all that.
Yeah. So there's a lovely brand called Teenage Engineering, and they do this thing called the OP1. And it's imagine like having a drum kit, a piano, a synth, and everything connected to your computer, but it's in this one like 24 key little piano thing, and it's got everything in it. You don't have to connect it to the computer to use all these sounds. You can sit on the couch and just make crazy music just on your couch with headphones in. I love that idea because, when you're being creative, there's a certain amount of laziness involved. You got to be comfortable.
You got to get in the zone.
You got to get in the zone. So I think it's perfect for that and for creating. But the other side of me is like, it's not really a real instrument. What can I get that's a real instrument? I love playing Eric's Pearl drum kit he's got behind us here.
I can't even see it.
Can't you? Oh, no, I can only see the brass and the cymbals and stuff.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it exists.
I think.
But one of our beloved, not friends, but beloved drummers in the world, Quest Love.
He's a friend.
Yes,
he's a friend.
Good friend of the podcast.
Sponsor.
We should get him on sometime. That'd be cool.
Yeah, let's see what I can do.
Absolutely. Anyway, he's got a signature Ludwig kit called, I think it's a beat break or a break beat kit.
Something like that, yeah.
And it's a very jazzy kind of funk hip hop style kit. It's got I think it's a 14-inch snare or something like that. Like it's a smaller one.
Yeah, it's small. So you would have like a 20-inch or 18-inch even. No, probably 20-inch kick drum. So it's really small. It'd be referred to as a bop kit.
Yep.
So it would originally be used by jazz drummers. So like the toms would be tuned pretty high, and you'd have like a pretty quick snare.
So the smaller the inches, the more high pitched the sound. Not high pitched, but more.
But yeah, generally,
poppy,
the more attack you'll get. So
The
like
faster the pop.
I can pitch these up high, but they're still going to sound deep because of what they are.
That's a gigantic kit.
It's not big enough. The kit I have at home is even bigger.
Is it?
It is.
I thought it was the same size.
No, it's a 20. I want to say it's like a 24-inch kick.
That microphone is too good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, I mean, like the bigger the better as far as drums because of the way that I play. you
Yeah, of
know what I
course,
mean?
of course. I think your drumming style obviously is very reminiscent of like John Bonham,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that prog rock style. I like just basic kind of hip hop, jazz, funk kind
And
of.
that would be
beats.
perfect for that.
Yeah, and so I think I might invest in one of those.
It's pretty affordable, that kit, yeah?
I think the actual kit, so you get 4 shells, the snare, 2 toms, and the bass drum. I
that's
think
right.
it's like $700.
Just the shell pack. That's pretty good. I mean, like, look, I paid like $1,300 for this kit behind me. And that's just because of what it was and how it was made, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But like what you're getting as far as like I'm a Ludwig guy through and through.
Yeah.
I trust Ludwig 100%. So like if you buy a shell pack, get yourself some affordable cymbal. We were talking about this the other day. We can't reference this because this was off the record, but I'm referencing it anyway.
Ooh. Dangerous territory.
Revolutionary.
Dangerous. But yeah, like I mean, like if you want to invest in something, like that's a good one to start with.
Well, I love playing drums. I think when I started to learn playing drums, it helped me a lot with my guitar playing, helped me a lot with my bass playing and stuff like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
They
so
say it helps you become a better songwriter,
Yeah.
learning drums.
helps you with structure.
It does. Like I'll tell you what. Like one good thing, for example, like what I did years and years ago when I was in my high school band is I learned how to play the original songs on drums, just so I could understand them better, and this helped me become a better musician.
Like
so
your band's original songs?
Yes.
Oh, right.
So it was like drop C, metal stuff. So like with breakdowns. So I felt like it helped me tighten my timing for performing those particular songs. So like if you can air drum things in your head or something like that, even if you're a guitar player or bass player, it'll help you understand
For sure.
the music better.
For sure. And I think if you want to improve on, I guess, your main instrument, learning other instruments, as weird as it sounds, will help you with that.
I agree.
So I think, there's that, and then there's the OP1. I have to make a decision. I can't get both. I'm not
I
rich.
would look if it were me, I'd invest in the drum kit. Just because it's something that you can always spontaneously sit and play. With like a small little synth, you have to get in the right environment. You have to sit in your little studio nook. But it'll force you to be creative, which is a good thing.
But that's the good
More
thing
tools
about
at your disposal with that.
Exactly.
Exactly. Finally, somebody gets me.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
That's right. But having said that, again, with the OP1, you can sit on your couch, not have it connected to a computer.
Yeah.
You don't have to have any plugins or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
literally all in this one little
Yeah.
tiny unit. So I can just sit on the train on the way back from Melbourne or something with headphones in, just create.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
So I like that idea, but because I like having a tangible and palatable instrument, I'm not
Yes.
sure whether I'll get out of it what I want to get out of it.
Well, thanks to Afterpay, you can have both.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, interesting. Jackson, anything that you're eyeing up at the moment? Anything you've got your eyes on for tax time?
Where do I start?
Ibanez Iceman.
I've always been...
He was serious
All
about
right, Paul Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert over here.
Mr. Big over here.
Daron Malakian over here.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley
Paul
over
Stanley.
here.
Yeah. He's the main one.
That's
that comes to
about
mind for me.
everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
The
There's three people to play.
Jackson Jones over here with the Iceman. Look, I'm not really chasing any gear with the amount of tax money I'm getting back because all I'm looking at is a bit more. It's going to be a bit more expensive than what I'm getting back. I actually lodged my tax return today and I didn't get back as much as I wanted. So, and I joked to Tyler earlier, it's like, I can afford an Ibanez Iceman.
But that's not a joke. You're buying one.
If I just, I like the idea of having a guitar just, set up in drop C.
Oh,
A
it's cool,
guitar
isn't it?
dedicated just for, filthy
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah.
That's a six string. Because six strings, they're a bit more comfortable to get around sometimes,
For sure.
particularly for the style of play from back in the day.
Yes, back in the day is the right term.
And then Ibanez Iceman just ticks all the boxes for me, for sure.
That's really funny.
You're the fourth person in the world that said that.
Without a doubt.
Believe it or not, I don't think I need anything anymore right now. The only thing that I want to invest in is studio equipment, like microphones and stuff. So this helps the business grow, of course. But I have finished buying instruments for right now, for at least a couple years.
Once the Mustang arrives, the engineer out the back is giving you a very stern look.
Yes, very, very stern look. But yeah, once the Mustang arrives, that's it. But my most recent biggest purchase, which we've seen on this show, but we haven't talked about, is this guy right behind me. This is
the Gibbo.
I'd like to make a reference to this because we can.
Only Australians would call it a Gibbo, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You guys, honestly.
Nothing better than a Gibbo, mate.
Yeah, mate, yeah, mate. So
They're like good Ep6.
don't even. Epiphany guitars.
Epiphany guitars.
So like anything else, we walked into Muso stuff a couple of months ago. We walked in there. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. That Pearl drum kit's pretty neat. Look at that." And then I pulled down this guitar. This was on the, it's sought after when it's on the second level.
Exactly.
Like when you got to
Second
get up,
level?
you got to reach up and pull it down and hope you don't drop it.
Yeah.
You have to want it to take it down.
This particular guy is what's called a Gibson
Gibbo.
J50 Deluxe. This is from the sticker said 1971, but the serial number says between 1973 and 1975. So this was made in the Kalamazoo, Michigan factory. So this is the original Gibson factory. And since they've shifted to Nashville. This is a very beautiful guitar. As far as
Gibson acoustics. I want to hear your take.
honestly, I've always thought I was going to end up leaning towards a Martin as far as buying an acoustic guitar because it's
Big
I'm a
sounds.
hometown boy. I've been to the were they Bethlehem or Nazareth? Either one of those. I've been to the Martin factory in Pennsylvania. I've done
Sounds a bit biblical.
It's
well,
very
Jesus, it is. But yeah, no, it's a very beautiful, big sounding guitar. Even if I point the mic at it and I strum a G chord, you're gonna immediately understand why I bought it. Ready?
Jeez, that's a nice sounding guitar.
We'll wait for that guy.
Oh, yeah.
It has a beautiful sound to it. So
That's rich.
Very rich.
it's very rich. I mean, it's as with the Rickenbacker, you have to be rich to afford it. So I paid this off over a couple of weeks, thanks to lay-by. But it just has that classic sound to it.
It does.
It's that country boy sound.
Dare I
that-
play an excerpt from a classic Led Zeppelin tune?
Go for it.
And I'll probably mess it up now that I'm on camera. Just preferencing.
Hey, if I can play Money for Nothing on the podcast, you can play a Led Zeppelin riff, mate.
It's like those people who are really good singers, but they're you know what I mean? They're trying to be really low key about it. I'm a good singer, but it's oh man, I've got a really bad cold today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm
Called
having
the
warmed
songbird
up.
of my generation.
But it's got a nice, beautiful sound to it. So this is a little excerpt from Led Zeppelin. Yeah, see, I've already messed it up.
That's all right. Here we go.
It's a great sound, man.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Rings well, rings out well. All right, Jimmy Page,
Oh,
take a break.
right. Well, that concludes it. No, I'm just kidding.
Jimmy Ladd.
No, it's a beautiful sounding guitar, and it records really, really nicely.
You just go, Mike.
Yeah. I
Just
mean, like,
what, ribbon mic?
that's no, not a red mic. Generally, I'm using these guys in a stereo configuration, with a room mic in front of me. But like, I've been writing a lot more because I have this thing, and I'm working on building up my voice so I can put out my own music and front my own band, which I'll have you guys play with if you guys want to.
Let's do it. I'm on board.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. But like, it's a really good songwriting tool. So like, I've sat in the vocal booth just behind us over there and just sat and just written the song on it. You know what I mean? Because it just sounds so beautiful. Dude, like, come on, Big Ted, do you want to?
That's the thing with acoustics. They really bring you back to basics. Cuts out all like any
There's no
distortion
bullshit.
effect. Exactly. Yeah.
It just is what it is.
It's very nice. It's inspiring.
It is. It is.
And bends well.
Imagine if you popped a G string on it live on air. Mr. Jones, would you like to have
Tyler, popping G strings. Of course, yeah, I'd love to have a shot.
The only thing I do very well is popping G strings.
Let's go very country boy in this.
Very nice.
You can just feel like it's so lightweight, but it has such a big, beautiful, bold tone to
You
it.
know when you like look at those guitars and you like watching people play it? That's one of those, like, just the headstock is just beautiful to look at. It doesn't get better than a Gibson headstock, does it?
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
Very nice.
that's very nice. It's very nice.
What?
Honestly, like, as far as like an instrument that I've bought
really nice.
in store, it's probably the nicest one I've bought. It's got some really nice fine details to it. It has real tortoiseshell binding. It has real mother of pearl inlays, tortoiseshell inlays on these little guys here. And what's really interesting is most Gibsons have actually a black face with a mother of pearl inlay here.
That's right, yeah.
This is like a
brown
natural
face.
It's a brown face. Dare I even say a racial slur? A brown face. That's what you guys. Never mind. We're going too far. This is a Gibson stamp. So they must have like screen printed or stamped it or whatever. But story is from Greg at Muso Stuff. Is this thing came in like damaged, and it was rebuilt.
Yeah.
So it's like perfect action, perfect everything. The interesting thing to note about it is that this is actually a 1/4 inch jack.
Input, yeah.
Yep, and it has some wiring in here, which is dead.
Are you planning to put a pickup in, maybe?
If I ever gig out with it, which I would absolutely love to, I'll just like temporarily put a pickup in there, which would double as like a mic.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a rich sounding guitar. Seriously, it's a good.
It's gorgeous, man. You've done very well.
It's a good songwriting tool.
Fantastic.
Yes. Well, excuse me while I put this back on the stand.
No worries.
You're excused.
Look, I think we've highlighted a lot of information as far as buying stuff.
We've got a lot of
online.
our chest in this podcast.
Yes,
you
I
know?
just-
We've
look,
had
I
a couple guests.
Yes.
We just need to get it out.
Back to basics here.
Need to get back to the boys.
Yeah.
Boys.
Any funny stories? Anything funny happened to us recently?
I shared that one before about being recognised from the podcast.
Yep.
The cafe is pretty good.
Yeah. You
was
can't,
cool.
can't top that.
It was pretty cool. I still can't process it really. Like we've only done 6 of them. You know,
Because we can reference.
we can reference.
Gee, look at this guy.
So yeah.
I remember I was at Grilled once and I was doing the name dropping game.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say my name was Arnold. but I could not keep a straight face.
I got a
Arnold.
crispy bacon and cheese for Arnold.
Just yeah, Arnold. It's just I don't know.
Arnold.
It's just too closely, put to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Of course.
So I mean, hey Arnold might be able to pull it off, but like nobody's going to think of him.
Yeah, but if you say Arnold, that's better than saying Arnie.
Yeah,
Football head.
yeah, man. I'll just have Arnie. Like,
Yeah, Arnie mine.
you're a cocky little shit if you call yourself Arnie. Let's be honest.
Yeah, my name's Arnie, dude.
You're not
Arnie.
Schwarzenegger. Get out
My
of
name's
there.
Arnie, and I'm the star quarterback of my high school football team.
The Arnies.
The Vikes.
The Vikes.
The Vikes.
The Vikes.
I don't have any funny stories. I've just been working my ass off. Honestly, this is just a chance for me to relax.
That's good.
It's the middle of winter here in Australia, guys.
Yep.
We can't be fun 24/7.
Winter blues is very much a thing.
Winter blues. It is.
Nothing better than just getting nice and close with your acoustic guitar and making some blues music.
Yeah, isn't that right? I've just got a lot of stuff booked at the moment. I went from having no bookings, which was I was actually celebrating because it's a chance for me to kind of relax, to having 2 EPs. I booked them within like 12 hours. One of them,
awesome.
our last guest, Stephen Hammer.
Mr. Stephen Hammer.
Mr. Shaven Hamster.
His
I don't know what to think about that.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
so his band Low Point, I've invited them to come in and do a little bit of work.
That's going to be fun, man.
And then another guy who I won't confirm yet, just because he hasn't confirmed the dates. I'm also
The Jackson Jones EP.
the Jackson Jones. There's rumor has it that another person is going to come into the fold.
Oh.
You might know this person.
All right.
I'm not going to mention any names.
Oh.
You going to tell us off cam?
I'm going to tell you off camera, but we might
All
have
right.
another engineer coming on at some stage.
Nice.
Interesting.
A Pro Tools expert, has his own music out there, and just interested in just getting somebody else in to take the load off.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think the best thing I can do as far as the business is concerned, bringing more people in, because more people will have more things to offer.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I couldn't do this podcast by myself. This is why we do this thing, because this is our thing.
Yeah.
And then you can go out and, get a coffee and get recognized.
Yeah.
That's what this whole thing's about, right?
It's only to get recognition.
Yeah.
It's about expanding live studios.
Well,
That's what
that's
it's all about.
That's exactly it. Because I can only get so far by myself. And it's not that I'm using people, but this is a platform for opportunity.
That's
It's
right.
a win-win for everyone involved.
Yes.
And it's fun. That's the main thing.
Oh yeah. I don't care if people don't listen to this.
Yeah.
I
It's,
don't listen
it's
to
for
this.
us mainly.
I edit it and that's it.
That's it.
Which is
I don't
like
even-
watching it 3 times over.
Who are these people?
Byler.
Byler.
All right. Well, look, I think that's it for
I think
episode
that's a good
6.
wrap.
I think that's
episode
a wrap.
6. Yeah.
Look, there's
All about
going
it.
to be a little bit of a hiccup there because that crackle noise, Pro Tools stopped recording. So we're missing about 10 seconds, but we're all back in action here.
Cool.
So we're doing it live here. We're doing it by the seat of our skinny jeans.
Yes.
At least 2 of us are.
It's,
These are skinny jeans, believe it or not.
are they really?
Just on a not so skinny man.
No, that's all right. Big jeans. Thanks for joining us again, guys. It's just real pleasure.
Thanks for having
It's
us, mate.
always an honor.
I think episode 7 we're going to try and have a guest, possibly. I'm not going to name drop any names,
We've got a couple of people lined up. We just got to...
but I gotta say, like, what what you said in the Facebook message this morning was funnier than hell.
Oh, what I called
The
him.
nickname.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was really funny.
Let's keep it off camera, boys. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be
yeah,
professional
yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
I will call him that when he's here.
Yes, great. I look forward to it. I'll just ask him, and I'm pretty sure he'll come on,
Yeah, it'd just be fun.
which would be good. Lots of good stories and stuff to
Absolutely.
work on. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Hell yeah.
Tuning in. I get it. Yeah. Any last words from Microsoft, Ted?
No.